Welcome to Railway Empire 2. My name is Nilaus and this is a first look at the game. This game was released on Steam on the 25th of May. So what is Railway Empire 2? According to the Steam description, it says, don the coat of a clever entrepreneur, take over a small railway company in the early 1800s and turn your steam engine into the workhorses of the economy. Grow your company into the largest railway company on the continent and outsmart your competitors. Railway Empire 2 is obviously the sequel to Railway Empire. The original worked really well and played really well and was very enjoyable with good story and a good UI as well. The sequel is improving what is already great in terms of user experience and adds new campaigns. So basically this is a very safe sequel, and some would argue, and this is also what reviews are saying, that it's just a reskin. But I think that the difficulty in a lot of these logistics games is how do you make the user experience enjoyable, because it can be so tedious to set up rail lines and all this stuff, and they've actually done a great job in making it much more enjoyable so that you actually get to play the game. These first look videos aim at showcasing the gameplay and highlighting strengths and weaknesses to help you decide whether this is a game for you, and also to determine whether this is a game you want to see more of on the channel, either here on YouTube or on Twitch. So if you have any interest, be sure to hit the like button, consider subscribing so you can keep up to date with more logistics games and other interesting games here on the channel. Let's dive into the first campaign.
Glad you're here.
Here we are.
My name is Corning, Erastus Corning. You must be the young railroad expert that was recommended to me. Other people don't think much of this newfangled nonsense, but I think investment into this railroad thing and your company is money well spent. I'm the proud owner of a hardware company, and the more railway lines you construct using my steel, the richer I'll get. So don't go bankrupt. But why don't you just get started using the to-do list I created? My company is situated in Albany, so you should connect this city as soon as possible. Don't worry about the difficult terrain. Clever planning is everything.
All right, so we now have the station. We are starting in Boston here. What a thriving city it is, and we are building a train station. This train station can have it has one track, and then it can have multiple tracks. And we've been told to go to Albany, that's up here. And we also, if we look at our checklist, it says deliver 8 loads of lumber to Boston, deliver 8 loads of sugar to Boston, great, and transport passengers from Boston to Portland, and reach 225,000 from Portland here. So what I want to do is, or what the core point of or challenge of these kind of games is, how the hell do you make a train system that makes sense, that is both supported and durable and all that stuff. So let's start actually by getting the connection between Boston and Portland, because why not? Even though you said you wanted Albany, then I'm going to show you that you're not the boss of me. I will be determining myself. I'll be getting those missions objective completed. Now, the first thing we do is we build a station. They cost a little bit of money. Then let's make a rail line. We go up to the track one. And now you can see that all the 8 are available. If I draw from the first one, it's going to be cheaper, and then 50,000 more for each one I go out here. So you really don't want to do that. But what I want to do is I want to have the middle 2 lanes dedicated to fast-going rail or express lines. So that's going to be for passengers and mail, and then all the outer lines are going to be for freight. I think all the outer lines. That's such a shitty idea, isn't it? I should actually have the 2 inner lines here always to freight, and then the next 2 lines here, and then never do that, because I need to be able to get stuff in. So this is the design of what are you going to do to make it sustainable. Like what you built in the beginning is almost definitely not going to be great. Look at this. I spent way too much on platforms. If I just dragged it one in here, it would go 50,000 down, but I don't want to do that. And then we look at the rails here. There's 0 incline, there's a little bit here, there's a little bit of earthworks, a little bit of tracks, that's fine. I'm going to be building it, it's way too expensive there. And that means now we have 1 line going back and forth. I can now do, and this is one of the improvements in the next one, I can just click another line here. That is not going to be it, because that's going to be on the wrong side. I'm going to just drag it from this side. You can actually do parallel tracks so easy. Now this, I've now built 2 parallel tracks in the middle. They will be dedicated for they'll be dedicated they'll be dedicated to the passenger lines. Then the inner two here will be dedicated to long-range freight lines, and then the inner one, it might be switched to some other side, will be just getting stuff in, because I want to go stuff in here, then they can cross-dock in a station. I'm just trying to build a train network that we can build once, and then we don't have to mess around with it too much. Right, so now we have a station. Let's make a train. We can go from Portland to Boston. Just click the two, you can see here, one stop, second stop, and all the stuff that they want to do. I can click it to automatic trains, or I can switch it over to express, then it only takes passengers and also mailbags. And then I choose locomotive. We have the Grasshopper that doesn't work. It's such a classic, like I remember the Grasshopper from Railway Tycoon back in the last millennia. And back when that was the newest type. I remember playing the game when that was the newest train on the tracks. Do we want one or two? I mean, okay, I'm gonna get two. I want two here. Oh, right. I'm an idiot. I am not supposed to go here yet. Yes. There. Because we're not done yet. There are very important things. First of all, there's this gridiron, which basically merges these two lines together with an intersection. It's so nice that you don't have to build this manually again. There, gridiron. Then we can set direction. That goes that way. It's always right-hand drive. There. Now we have directionality. And because we've done that, they insert all of the signals by itself. Oh, man, that's so nice. Now we can go up and build the new rail line. Portland, Boston, Express, Locomotive. Two of those. Done. That's it. This one will 125,000 for Boston and Albany Railroad imports jumbo. Cool. There we go. What are you saying? The demand for imported goods meat has been reduced because it reached the maximum stock level. Okay. And then we need to take this station. Lovely station. This will just be an inbound station. And I'll just throw it into Boston, and I'll also throw it into Portland. So that should be easy. We will do another one. I'll take... Do I want to make sure? No. We'll take this one. And that goes in here. I don't want to cross anything off. Let's look at the track. It's some earthworks, some platforms, and that's all good. I just want a single line. Now, no gridirons, no directionality, because this is just going to be one train going back and forth. You know what I forgot? I forgot a supply tower. Yes, we need supply towers here. In the middle of this, we need to make sure that the supply tower provides water, sand, and oil to all the locations, and they'll be used in different conditions. Water is used always, sand is used for going uphill, and oil is probably used always. This one needs to be hooked up, connection bonus, and then at this point, we also need to make sure that in these locations we actually have a pardon me, there. So there's a bit, here's a little difference, right? I can click on the city, which gives me information about the city demand, what is demanded, what is actually being delivered, and how much is already in stock. They can't bring stuff in without trains because obviously these roads are still working. They're just very bad. Here we can also see passengers. There's demand. We're bringing in travel time between Boston and Portland. And then here's some other graphs, some stuff. And then here we have, now we click on the actual station. So the station, I want to construct an extension, and that's going to be a maintenance depot because trains need maintenance. That's expensive. Then let's build a train line that's going to go from Walker Stop into Portland. And that's going to be a locomotive, and that's going to be one. And I will express do this for freight, and they'll go in. And then it says your rail line is a long line that does not have any directions. Is that okay? Yes, because I'll only have a single train going back and forth on this line. Now on the other side, I want to do the same thing, but from Walker Stop into Boston. And I'll just take the second one and drag it in. And there are a million different ways to build these designs here. There's a little bit of incline, and there's some roadworks, and station platform is going to kill us because I want to build something that's sustainable for the long run. I don't want to build any parallel lines. I don't want to build out. We should actually always build these. These are expensive. Okay, I could have just made it closer here and then got it in, but I didn't. We just wasted one more. and we make a line from Walker Stop to Boston. To Boston. There we go. Walker Stop to Boston. Get a train. Set it to freight. And it'll bring cattle and lumber in. Boston can then produce. And it says again, you have a problem here. Good. So this is like the very first little thing I'm going to be speeding up here. That means Boston and Albany Railroad has fastest train. It probably also has the only train. So let's look. There are little pips here. 2 out of 6 pips. That's the size of the city. You can see citizens about 20,000. Consumption of wagons. Fulfillment of demand is 50%. When it is less than 40, the city gets smaller. When it's more than 60, the city goes bigger. So our objective is to make sure that we get supply here, that 60% of what is requested is being fulfilled. Basically at this point, we are really strained for grain. And also meat is not working. Why is the meat not working? Well, because meat is not being transported from Boston to Portland because we don't have any freight lines between them. Well. If that isn't something we can definitely do, I'll make a freight line. I'm going to make this line really, really overbuilt. There. This is overbuilt to the extreme. So this, you can see now it replaces a gridiron and we can make a 4x4 gridiron. I do not want that because I want to make sure that I have strict difference between my freight lines and my passenger lines. And I don't want to mix them up because freight lines are super slow and passenger lines make more money the faster it is. You can also see this supply tower has expanded to now fill all 8 lanes. Great. We don't have a supply depot over in Boston. By the way, I'm doing things way too expensive. But I want to build things properly. I want to build like really structured between these and then sort of have a good setup here and there. And you can see there's a little problem. This Boston train has decided to go on the wrong tracks. This is a passenger train that goes on the other tracks. How the hell did you decide that? You were on the other tracks and now you decided to go over there. All right, well, there is a way to solve that. We can then go here and then hold on. First I need to set railway direction because these need directions. There and there. There. Good. So, always right-hand drive. And then those small feeder lines, they'll just be single line and multi-directional. Great. Now, I will go and select... We can select the station and I can select the routes with the station. There's the Boston to Portland. That's the one. That's the freight line. We go in here and edit it. And then I want to make sure that I want to point out where it wants to go. It wants to go on that line. And I can't get up in that line. It decided to go on these lines. Why? So I can't click on this because it's kind of stuck. Not kind of stuck, but it is stuck. That means I have to there. Build this one. Now I can choose this. And then I want to force it over to use the top 2 lines. There. And it goes Portland, then it has to go to waypoint 2, that's the top one, and then to Boston, and then waypoint 1, confirm, there. And that should get it over here. So if I click on this line, nothing. I don't get anything because there's no one traveling on these. Here I get it for Boston, here I get it. That's still operating here. I'd like to see it go back and forth. It's still on the other track because it didn't switch and it can only switch over here. So we'll leave it a little bit and then we'll fix it. But I need another train and that's going to be a freight train. So we need a freight train going from Portland. Actually, not from Portland. Yes, we'll want it to go from a rail line from Boston to Portland. And then we want a locomotive. We'll just use this. This is a mixed one and it goes as express. Yes. And when it goes from... Why did I select Portland first? Okay, so I'm going to try again. Railway line from Boston. And then this is a freight line. So it goes on this line. Just to make sure that it forces in on the right 2 tracks. And on that line, a locomotive and a freight train. Go. Just single one. It's a little bit excessive here, but I know that it's going to be expanded, so we know that we're building for the future. I hope. This one, the demand for imported goods, livestock, can be reduced because it has reached the maximum. Oh, you make Okay, they both have butcheries or something in these two locations. That's fine. We will need to get sugar in here. That's going to be the next thing. Let's look at the checkpoint. We have loads of lumber coming in. Great. Almost there. And then we need sugar to Boston. Let's take a look at that. Now, I am going to get a city up in Albany. We want to connect to Albany. That's a long way off. So let's build the Albany station here. Am I happy about this? Hold on. I need to check. Oh, what is that? Completed the tour without freight. Yeah, they'll get it. They'll get it. I just wasted a little bit of money here. That's a freight train. It better be. This is a freight train. And this is it has a little lightning signal because it's the fastest one. And I'm losing money on everything. That's lovely. I am an awful person to this. But we can still make expansions. And we will just expand our way out of our misery. So, let's build a station here. You can see I can't build it too far out. But it just has sort of reserved the space for the city. And what if I do this? And then... Okay, I'm going to try this. And I said I wanted to do like the middle ones. So from here. And I want to go around that station somehow. Even though it's a longer train, I don't know if I can... If I get close here, then I have to go really high up. Okay. Maybe I can do another station here. First, let's do this one. And I'm gonna...
Very good.
Oh.
What we're doing here really has the potential to revolutionize the way we have been transporting goods up till now.
What did I get? There. Alright, so did I get it? No. I think it might be getting in trouble with the... Let's see. Let's make it like this. I'll try that. Hop station. Right, so this will just be a feeder line in here and a feeder line in there. Nothing more than that. But let's start with that feeder line. Which will be... So my passenger train is not going to stop at this location. It'll have to go around and then just get a feeder line to either location. Yes. That is going to be a little bit of a challenge. Alright, so I've managed to find a way to build this. It's a little bit expensive. As you can see, we barely have any money left. Also, we have research. Let's take a look at the research here. What do we want to get? We want to get a warehouse, because warehouses are going to be super useful for sort of cross-docking things at intermediate stops. This is what we can build at a rural stop. Then we should also construct bridges, are going to be cheaper. And we basically get 60 points per month. That's just how much it is. And then we'll just keep building these things. All right, we have this station here. I built a supply in the middle. And what I need to do is I need to absolutely make sure that I have a stop going from Albany to... it has to go on this track. And then it goes into Boston. And then it goes back on the other track. I mean, this shouldn't really be necessary, but I do it anyway. I want 2 trains and I want it to be express. Done. Then we'll hopefully make a little bit of money. We'll get those... yeah, the quarterly balance. That's fine. We don't need to look at that. By the way, here, this is the condition. This is in terms of maintenance. And then we have here, we have this water supply, we have the sand supply, and we have the oil supply. As long as we put these supply towers in the middle, then it should be fine. So now let's hook up Hop Station. Because if we look at the tasks, we got the lumber, we don't have the sugar. We don't have the passengers between... Oh, they're coming. They're coming. And reach 25,000 in Boston. That would require us to get more stuff into Boston in order to get that. So I'm going to go from here. I'm going to take the closest one and then simply jam it in there. That's awful. Yeah, let's not do that. Okay, let's try it from the other side. This lane. Oops. Let's make it in here. If you do like this, then it's parallel. And then at some point, it just deviates out. Parallel to there, and then in. Ah. There you go. That's much, much cheaper. So now there's no extra platform because the platform is already built. You have to pay 50,000 to build the platform. I can do that here. Great. I don't want any extra tracks. I don't want for this track. I don't want... Well, I do want this part here. Oh, that's expensive. Don't care about this part. It'll be a single line in. So we just built a line in, hops to Boston. And there's only one line that it can go on, so it actually highlights which lane it is. There, one, and that's going to be a freight. So what it's going to take, it's going to take hops into Boston. Done. It's a one-lane line, so it warns us, yes. Then I would also like to have 2 more lines for freight between this, but it's too expensive. I can't afford it. So I'll be doing something a little bit of a hack, you could say. I wonder if I can squeeze it in here. Whoop, that's definitely not what I wanted. This way. Okay, that's a big incline here. Is there anything to do? Oof. That would be better, but that's too expensive. Don't want to do tunnels. I think I'm just kind of allergic to tunnels. I don't know. Oops. Why? Okay, I shouldn't have done it like that. I should just build the whole thing first. So this is now using that line, and the further we bring it in, the more likely it is to just go. And that will now go parallel into that location. Great. Built it. I did not want to build it, by the way. Let's kill it again. Sorry. And there. And then I go all the way in. I was just so happy about it. Here. And let's see. So that will be a location here. And that's 47 kilometers. That's fine. We don't care. And that's now a long one-way track. Funny how that one is not a great place. I can just take that out. And then I'm going to build it again. And then I'm going to build it here because then it also services that line. Great. Now, train line. And normally you wouldn't want to have 2 trains unloading on the same platform. But it doesn't really matter at this point. Because they're going to be so rarely going back and forth. There. Warning, it's a one-way or it's a dual-way. Yes. So this one is connection 250,000 for connecting it. That's great. So now what we have is we have a completed train without cargo. Ugh. There's no cargo between these two. And there should be, but there isn't.
Great. My company owes you.
Excellent. And why did you say that? I don't know. Okay, we got those deliveries, then transport the passengers. That's not a lot of passengers. Reach 25,000. So let's have a look at the... oh, right. It's because the sugar. Demand for imported goods meat has been reduced because it's reached the maximum. Okay, so then we get to the point of freight line. Because Albany has demand for meat. But it's not getting any. But it has a supply of beer. There we go. But it's not really getting that beer. It is actually getting the wheat in, or the grains needed from this farm really close. So it's okay, but even though we don't have a train line, it's actually working just fine. So what we really want to do, is it really what we want to do? Because we can't really afford it. I am going to build a parallel line. And that's going to be a freight line. And it's going to be really awful. There. And that goes... click it in here. Why does that not work? Here. And... like this. Just get it all the way. This will be a single freight line, and it's absolutely incorrect to build it with with one direction. But I am. right? Because I can't afford to build another one. Like if I build this, it's not that expensive. I'll build 2 then. Haha, I'll do it. All right, so that is now there you go. So now we have the freight lines as well. I'm gonna build the grid here. That's the grid, and we're gonna build the grid on the other side as well. Oh no. Let me just also here, I think I want to replace these gridirons. And let me just check that it's gridiron. Did I replace it? No, they're fine. Good. So now I am just checking here. There's my Albany Boston. That is not quite, it's an express, but it's not getting that express signal yet. It will. And now I need to make a freight line from Albany to the outer track. That's the outer track. And then to Boston. There. And then back to that one. And I'm going to get a single locomotive. And we'll make freight. So that means it's going to transport between Albany and Boston some meat and some beer. Sweet. Done. Okay. That's good. The only issue with this is that from Albany, we're not going to get any freight into, or any beer into Portland. And I'm sure if you're sitting in Portland and seeing your friends in Boston drinking beer, and you're not going to be happy about that. Let's have a look at demands here. So they're not getting any grain. That's really important that they get grain, but they're getting lumber, they're getting that. This is not working because they're trying to export, but no one wants it. They're getting the sugar at an okay demand here. They are not getting any beer. We'd like to get some beer. So maybe we just add an extra line, because now they are, these lines here, these 2 lines, they are continuing over on the other side. So we can now build a dedicated freight line between Albany and out on track 4. Don't go to Boston, go to Portland. And then from Portland, you go back on that line just to make sure. There. 1 train, express, go back and forth. Sweet. There we go. And that is that could be. What I also could do is I could make a manual train that picks up here and then drops half off and half off. But it's a long way, so 2 trains will probably be the right solution here. Now, what are we not getting? Well, we're not getting anything from Walker Station. We're not getting the wood from Walker Station to Albany. And that's a little bit of a problem, because there's only a single-headed line here, so I don't have any option for just dragging it in, and any direct line is also not really there. Oh, Indian transfer. Did I mess it up? Oh, don't tell me I messed it up. No, I messed it up, did I? 1, 2, 3. No. Okay. This line here, it goes in and then it becomes here. Okay. Yeah, we have a little bit of a problem getting logs in here and onwards, because I can't make a direct train, because then we'll have to sort of intersect at various different locations. What is our problem here? Hobs, breakdown, maintenance. Oh, we don't have a maintenance stop here. And let's make sure that we build a maintenance stop. Boop. There we go. Albany. I think all the main stations should have maintenance stop, and then not the small stations should not. At this point, I really think, okay, there's a little green arrow. So finally we see that Boston is growing, because it's now getting beer. Yes, lots of beer. And that's up to 80% satisfied. Once it gets a bit more up, it'll grow. So we are now seeing a growth. We are also desperate for money, so it's good. Maximum speed of early locomotives is increased by 5%. I'll take it. And then we can sort of look at other options for what we'd like to get. Like this is dairy, and you don't have a demand for that yet. only when you get to 35,000. So that's going to take a little bit of time. But if we look at Albany is also growing now because it got the meat. Is it getting enough lumber? Yes, it is. It's still getting enough lumber, even though it's just by road networks. So that is also fine. Boston and Albany Railroad has the fastest train. That means now we're getting more money because we have the fastest train, because we have a dedicated rail line here. Now, at this point, I think I'm just going to let it grow these cities. This is not growing. Why is Portland not growing? It is definitely because of... Yeah, I guess grain is also not doing great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are working. So I don't have corn, I don't have grain. But you can drink beer. But you're getting the beer. So I guess that... Oh, okay, it's also growing now. So as long as you get the beer, you're growing. Great. So while waiting for Boston to grow, which is the only thing we're missing, also just more passengers. I don't know why the passengers are not really wanting to go there, but that's fine. We'll get some passengers. But while we're waiting for this to grow, I think I want to try something, because I want to get grain in to Boston and Portland. How would we do that? Well, we have a great line for freight, so let's use that. But I can't get this one in. This one is connected to Albany. And it is connected by just road network, which is fine. You can see that it easily gets enough. But what if I wanted to get it in here? Then I would need to build an actual train station here. So let's, for the sake of argument, try to build a train station and just figure out how that would work. There, let's build a Campbell train station. That's the one. Now, we would need to make 2 stops in here. I'm gonna take the closest one, and I could make it into, just loop it into yet another line here. That's crazy, by the way. That is really crazy. Let's kill that there, and then wow, that's a gigantic loop. That's a crazy loop. How big they... Okay, never mind. What if we do it here? That's much better. So yeah, you can do that one without problems, and that would get it in. But do I want to? No, not really. So let's ignore that. Then I take number 2, because we at least have that available. And then I'd like to merge it into the train line. So this comes in here. It doesn't look particularly expensive. Station platforms, that's that. And you go out here. Right. Then I will get you also in here. No, they will be a parallel track. Parallel track here. Just parallel track. Not merging. Not merging. And in here. Oh, that looks beautiful. That looks so beautiful. I wonder if it works. Huh. There. Switch, and I will need to make sure that they are... Ta-da! And that should work. So that means now I have an opportunity for us to merge here into this main freight line. Not the passenger line, the freight line, I hope. That means we can now make a station. And this is going to be a little bit more complicated. I'm going to go from Campbell. Then I'm going to go to... hold on. Let's make absolutely sure that it chooses the right path. And it goes on that line. Great. Then it goes into Boston. And then it goes on the freight line. I mean, it doesn't really have a choice. These are not necessary, but I'll do it anyway. Into Portland. And then just make sure that it goes nicely back again. Here. And into that station. Great. Then it starts over. So far so good. So that means it goes from Campbell Station to Boston to Portland. I want one truck, one train, and then I switch it to manual. What the hell does that mean? Well, that means I can click up here, and then I can say, you want to load grains. It arrives. Oops. Yeah. It loads goods up here. This is just all goods. But it loads 8 wagons. It does not go unless it has 8 wagons.
With a
Oh, shut
small
up.
hardware store
Not yet.
that I inherited from my father. By now, it has grown into a stately company, and with the help of the railway, it can become really big.
So what happens here is then it goes in and says minimum 4 wagons remain, and these will now be unloaded. And then it goes to Portland. There. And minimum 0. This is a little bit risky because this means that the train will not depart from Campbell Station until it has 4 loads here and 4 loads there. Let's give it a shot and see how it works. Well, well, well. And okay, so we have a deep auction bidding. Do we want this option here? No, because we don't have any money. Ha! I am poor. Dirt poor. We got a mission completed, and we soon get the last completed here as well. Great. Train has a negative balance. I don't care about this. This is basically like an auction against enemies. Which one? What train is that? That is from what? Hop Station? Do you not demand enough sugar? Yeah, you get the sugar, but okay, so you're not really demanding much, but it's growing lightning fast because it's over 80% fulfillment. Woohoo! That's actually pretty cool. So it's corn is the only thing we don't have at all, and we're actually getting the cloth. I have no idea how to get. Oh, maybe it's because it has its own cloth industry or what? Because I'm getting the. I don't know. What is this? Well, that's interesting. So I guess these must be sheep plants. Huh. That's odd. So wool grows on little bushes called sheep bushes? I don't know. That's an interesting. I know why.
The mayor of Boston, think regarding our new passenger line. That's really good press. Especially now that we are delivering goods faster than they are consumed, passengers can be a more reliable source of income. We have already done a lot for the people in this region. Shorter travel times, increased transport of goods, and at the same time, our registers are ringing. As a next step, we should consolidate our success.
750.
Take a look
Nice.
at your list. I've added some more tasks.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that the reason why they built this and then they had cotton farms and they went like, oh, cotton farms. Oh, yeah, let's just make it wool. Because also, you know, you don't have that many cotton farms in New England. You're more likely to have wool and then, yeah. So I think it'll be like, yeah, that's fine. It's fine. I don't care. But it's like a little bit funny. Okay, this one's growing super fast now, Albany. That is great. So we're basically getting some new tasks here. Now we said transport a total of 4,800 passengers. That's kind of a lot. Reach 30,000 in Albany. That should not be difficult because we're growing pretty damn quickly here. And then we want to keep an eye on our demand and just figure out what is not fulfilled and get that in. So that means corn is what we should be looking at. And just then you have another one that's some barrels, and then you can just click on corn, then you get the idea of where you can actually get the corn from. So the corn is coming in here. So that's where we can get the corn. So that would actually mean that we would get at least Syracuse involved. If I then do the so-called wool, it's connected to that one. So that means if we want to get the corn, then that's a great way to do this. And I really like this way of merging into the freight lines. That is definitely how we want to do things from now on. This is probably better than this line, I think. And we have a negative yield. Which one is this? Hop Station. Okay, they're just not really consuming this part. So I could deconstruct this and then make it into another one. Portland is growing up to 26. It's not going to keep growing very much. Boston is still growing because it's also good. Albany is still growing a lot, and it'll hit the 30,000 very, very quickly. The 4,200 passengers, that's not going to happen very quickly though. If we look at the next one, the next two. These are the freight lines. Let's look at the freight lines here and see where we have some unfulfilled demand. This is from the Albany, from quarterly balance. Yeah, okay. We're still making 800,000. That's pretty good. And so we're getting passengers to Boston and to Portland, and that's the time it takes to get there. Average travel time 16 days. That's kind of a lot, but
What our rails can
oh.
do for a city is quite unique. A marvel of modern technology.
Oh, we got that one completed. And then it's to transport lots and lots of passengers. I was just thinking whether we should have a passenger train that went all the way through. But I think if we want to get more trains, then the answer is we need to hook up Syracuse as one more station on the network. So let's see if we've learned anything and can build it more easily and quickly. See, there's an industry building here, so we need to be a little more careful. And then I'm going to go flip it around. I also would like to sort of point it at least somewhat towards the direction of Buffalo. There. So now let's figure out if we have remembered anything. So I need to do the number 1, 2, 3, 4. This is going to be first the passenger line. And that goes up here. And that needs to hook up to this line. Probably not going to be smashing through this part. So how is that completely impossible? Huh, that's not good. Up. Weird. And I really do want to avoid tunnels. -10. Ow. There. 4. Okay, this is doable. Let me see. This is from that one. Then I have to be able to 300,000. Half of it is from platforms, some earthworks, some bridges. It's all good. And then I make another one. That's gonna be a little bit tricky. It's that one. So that's the passenger line. We're gonna be making here, and we're gonna make there, and then we're going to set direction. That's good. Then we're going to build a water supply on the middle. There. And now we're ready to put in a passenger train or 2 that goes from Albany on the top line into Syracuse and then back again. And it's a locomotive. I'll need 2 trains and they are going to be express. Boom. That's good. That'll obviously be way too much for us right now, but it'll work. Let's have a look at Syracuse and figure out what you most desperately need. You got the wheat coming in from that location. You got some corn, not surprising. You don't have any lumber. You don't have any meat. So if we can get some, if you want to get something, then we also need to expand our freight network as well. And that is the next 2 lines. So it's actually, it's going to get a little bit expensive, a little bit pricey, but I do need those lines. It's between these major stations. So here, can I just drag it straight over and then it'll automatically realize that it's that line and 1 more. There we go. That's done. And we barely have any money left. That one. I'm needing 4 lines here. And I know that there will be comments about this is way overbuilt. I know. But anything worth building is worth overbuilding. And that's going to be there and there. Cool. So now I also need some freight going back and forth. So does Albany, that has beer, and you also have beer. So I don't need to bring anything between these 2 stations. What I do want to get is something Syracuse. You need, what did you need again? You needed lumber and you needed meat. Okay, so did we have a train in here that went in for some meat? That one? Oh yes. So from, actually let's do another one. So this one is Albany. No, this one is Boston to Albany. What if we, instead of doing that, went from Boston to Syracuse? Yes. There. Here, and then delete that. I think that's fine. Good. Then I'm going to do another one. That's going to be for Portland to Albany. And locomotive. Great. That'll just exchange these two. Sweet. That's fine. And let's see. What do we have? Train company last tour. That's Campbell Station to Portland. Campbell Station, Campbell Station. Where's the Campbell Station to this one? Ah, that one. That's the wheat one. Or the grain one. It's not wheat, it's grain. So I think basically we now have our butchery here in Boston goes to Albany. Our butchery here in... No, our Boston to Syracuse and Portland to Albany. Then... And that's also exchanging beer the other way. So it's meat for beer, back and forth. That's good. Train has been... What? Train loading has been waited. Yeah, this is the problem. This is exactly the problem we have. Waiting to be loaded for 3 weeks. This is the one that I knew was going to happen. So basically what it says is... And I'm not sure exactly. This says you're not going to go unless you have 8 wagons full. Good. But... you will only make something if there is a genuine demand. So I go up. So how do I get the demand? Grain, you should have a demand. It says 4 inbound, those are the 4. But the other one, here, Portland. It is then not requesting to Portland. Come on, Portland. Okay. There, Portland. It's not requesting anything, but it should. Like, look at that. You really want to go in there. Why would you not want to go in here with some grain? I don't understand why it doesn't want grain here. Like, there's clearly a demand, but why is it not generating the demand here as well? I don't get it. So I am going to... This train is just annoying. Then I do this, and then I just have to accept that you don't force the train, you just go with what you have. And then it goes with these 4, and then it will go to Boston, drop it off, and then it'll go here for no reason and go back again. That's just the way it is. But I don't understand why there's no demand in here. It clearly there is a demand, but I don't know. Does it say... No, it says 0%. So I don't understand that, and that's something I've always struggled with. I always also struggled with yesterday. Syracuse, why are you not getting anything in? You'll get some meat coming in, yes. Beer is not working because it's already fully exported. Great. We're waiting for exports. What else do we not have? Lumber, though. Lumber. Okay, so let's make a lumber location, and that's going to be a little bit more tricky because the only way we have lumber is there, but we also probably have it closer by. So we'll use the barrel form here and then go lumber and then say we have it down there. But this is not close enough to go in here, so I'm going to need to make a station here for lumber, and that will just merge in to the main line here. Oof, to the freight main line, that is. Here. And let's see. That means I need to like a big intersection now. I am going from here straight out and into that location. This is good. Yes. And then from the other one, I'll go parallel all the way. That's easy. Then I need to do the other part from here. Yes, I guess. That was exceptionally easy. Are you kidding me? What? There we go. That makes no sense how easy that was. I am shocked and in awe about how easy that was. Huh. That's amazing. Cool. All right. Well, that was awesome. That means from this station, if we need some yarn for some wool from the wool bushes, now I need to make a train from here to here, and it's going to be a freight train, and it'll go on the freight line, and it'll burn yarn, and that to Syracuse. Yay! Albany is growing a lot because it has basically everything except the corn done, and that was the whole point of getting over here, was that we can now do corn. Right, I think this is a really solid network. It's a really expensive one, and we don't have any money left, but that being said, auctions, we're not going to be spending money on auctions. Maximum speed when cornering or construction cost. Oh yeah, we are spending so much on constructions. Definitely get construction cost down. Yeah, so let's just let it trickle along and see that what's happening, and then we'll just do a little bit of a debrief. So, what do I think of this game? Well, I think that it plays incredibly smooth. I think that you need to figure out a good train system, otherwise it's going to be an absolute nightmare to figure out what is going on. And right now, like, setting up a new train line is easy, and this thing, I am blown away by how easy that was to make a three-way intersection. And also I'm very, very happy with how I designed my 2 lanes for passengers, 2 lanes for freight, and then merging the freight in and out here. Better to merge it in that way. Oh, we're not really making money, are we? I'd actually like to see why we're not making money. Okay, we're not getting a lot of... We're making more from passengers, not making much from freight, making more from mail. Oh, right, we got 750,000. Okay, we got some bonuses. We did not get a bonus this time. Operating cost has increased, obviously, but our profit has also increased, so that's fine. That is fine. Not a problem. Right, so it's easy to set it up, and it's easy to get it working, but at this point, like, have I built all the trains that I need, and are they working as they should? I have no freaking clue. And I guess that if you, the hints are that you go in here and see, okay, so there's something here that we could do. And if we want to make this one faster, just get a sense of utilization. Train use of mail. Okay, so maybe we'd want to get more. Train usage here is, so Albany, we can kind of get, this doesn't seem severe. Right, train usage, I guess, what's the difference about this one? Train use passengers, train use mail. Is that like how much is using the trains and how much is going by foot? I don't know. But anyway, this is a great way to try to figure out what is waiting. This was a great idea to figure out how do we get corn into Albany, for example. That was the whole point of what we wanted to do. So here comes the big question for you. If this is something you'd like to see more of and just continue to expand and build really cool things in this game, then I'd like to do that, and I think it fits better for YouTube episodes than it does for Twitch. So if you're interested, then I'd like to continue, but there of course has to be some interest. I think that we've got a really solid start for this mission, and then we'll be figuring out to expand outwards and also start engaging with the competitor here in terms of sort of buying out their network eventually. We're gonna need to make a lot more money, but my focus is going to be like getting all the cities up, getting them as efficient as possible, keep them growing, because then they will get a lot more, we'll make a lot more money from passengers and mail between the different locations. Cool. So I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel so you can watch more hopefully awesome logistics games here on the channel. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.